Hiya. So I'll just show you the kitchen that we've built in our camper van. So this whole unit is a custom unit that we built, and you can see here we have a full tap with a sink here. The tap has hot and cold, which is supplied underneath by our boiler, and then on this side we have the two vents and two hooks. The vents are used for the output of the diesel heater and the input of the diesel heater. We have two outputs of the diesel heater, and as you saw inside this cupboard we have the pull switch in order to divert the air. So as we pull that up, we're diverting the air through a heat exchanger for the bubble boiler. As we push it down, with that push down, the hot air will come out from underneath where the kickboard is. You don't need to see that. The kitchen itself has a kickboard, so you can stand here cooking and you're not going to be bashing your toes. We have 3-burner hob fitted in with a grill and an oven. All of this runs off of LPG, which is on an underslung tank, which you'd see from our previous videos. We have storage underneath the cooker in the drop down cupboard, which we can add frying pans, etc.
These are two just blank.
Yep. And then underneath the cupboards we have the electronics. So we have the diesel heater for heating under there, as well as the heat exchangers for the boiler, and then the cables. On this side, this is a pre-purchased unit.
It goes all the way back.
Which is quite large to hold all of our bigger items.
Got it from IKEA.
And we've fitted a lock handle onto that so it won't slide open.
Yeah, I like these lock handles. They're quite good.
They're a pain to fit.
Yeah, but yeah, they lock it like that. Yeah. And
then the other features we have is 3 spice racks on the back with our fake tiles. These are plastic, they're not tiles, in order to save weight.
We use just something, just stuff, plastic.
Yeah, and some plastic trimming to tidy up the edges.
It looks nice now.
And then on the side we have 2 USB, 2 plug sockets for when the inverter's on.
Yeah,
and the light switch.
We don't need it, but yeah, we have it.
And then the other thing that we have here is these 2 pieces are holding our chopping board, which will naturally sit on top of the sink when we're not using it, and that allows us to use it for chopping.
And then when it's too heavy, so you can't really leave it here.
Because, yep.
Edges are not really deep, so it's gonna fall. So we just like fasten there, one side of the bed.
It sits underneath.
Yeah, so it's just tidy, and we're not worried about it's gonna drop.
I find that not to be the prettiest solution because I don't like these 2 hooks here, but it's very practical.
Yeah.
And it just keeps it out of our way.
Yeah.
Before we did that, we kept on leaving it on the bed, and then you climb into bed and you'd hit your knees on it. So on this side we have our mirror for our vanity to make ourselves look pretty, and then inside here we have our control units. So this is all of the control for the van in here. So this is obviously fridge, water, fans. This is the battery monitor. This is the inverter controls, the diesel heater. We have water gauges, and we have a gas gauge to tell us how much gas we have. And then we just have a little tray on the bottom for storing our loose bits.
Yeah.
And then a bigger shelf above.
There is also USB.
And another USB at the top there. Which I don't know why we need that, because we have USB here.
Yeah, that little piece to use for.
it's fitted.
Yeah, and then there is as well here this plug socket will help us if we use laptop.
Yep. Small bit of countertop, which is made out of butcher board, and then underneath here is a pre-bought drawer unit where we saw our cutlery, our plates, and then one large storage underneath for bulky items.
Need that much space, but it's nice to have it.
Yep.
Also, we have this one because the bed is little high, so it's easier if we use that.
So this is for Miss Shorty to be able to step on
and go to bed.
Up onto the bed.
Yeah.
We'll produce a video chapters, so anything that you want to skip to, it makes it easy for your viewing. We worked on building the kitchen unit from the bed, which was already constructed, out towards the front of the vehicle. So the first thing to start with was the IKEA unit, which we just purchased as a individual unit, pre-made. We just had to put it together. It wasn't the cheapest option because I believe it was about £140. Next to that you can see our unit to hold the cooker. This unit is built with a drop vent at the back of it, so the front of the unit is sealed, allowing the back of the unit to have a vent that drops out underneath the van, allowing any gas to escape. This is vital because the last thing you want is a gas leak at the back of your cooker going into your main van. Here you can see the gas pipe coming in from the side, which feeds the gas into the cooker, as well as a vent on the bottom. Note it's worth using a flexible pipe here because originally we were thinking of using copper. However, lifting the unit in and out was incredibly tricky with a rigid pipe, so this is why we chose to change that to the flexible piping and then copper piping further down towards the source itself. Next you're seeing the diesel heater being fitted. The diesel heater itself is a very simple installation, but we have the addition of a bubble boiler here with the heat exchanger. Yep, we're just preparing to put the worktop on. We've decided to put the worktop on now. So
you're making this to hold the worktop, isn't it?
Yeah. When we fitted worktop, we simply laid worktop on top of the units, and then we screwed it down to the brackets that you can see me fitting here. This just held the worktop safely down to the unit and made it one. Yep, we've just put the template in. So because we bought some butcher block, I don't mind cutting the end because that was fairly simple. It's the cutting around the cooker is going to be the hard part. The sink should be fairly easy because you can pick up the sink, but once you've got the sink you can just drop it in. But if I want to do the sink, I can literally draw around the sink and then trace a centimetre inside that. That's fairly simple to do. But doesn't really work on the cooker. We could draw around the cooker, but we can't get to it. So
there's a lip in this.
Yeah, we want the lip.
Should be underneath of the lip.
Yeah, we want the cooker sitting on top of the lip. Lip sitting on top of the worktop. But yeah, I'm happy with that. So we'll get that cut. We created the template out of a cheap cut of plywood because the butcher block was very expensive. The template was then simply just dropped in, verified, and then we used that template to then sketch around and cut our butcher block because we didn't want to make any mistakes there. A little bit, yeah?
I'm holding. But I don't really see how am I gonna.
That corner.
Okay.
Just put it down
Put it down.
quickly. Push it into place. Hiya. So now we have a cooker. Don't know if it works yet.
It is fitting. It's really nicely done, isn't it? Look. Okay there.
Yeah, it's very close.
Mm.
I'll see it.
You happy?
I'm happy with that. Still a tap there though. At the moment, what I'm doing is we've got an upside down sink, doesn't hold water very well. So we're trying to figure out how to cut the hole in the worktop. Now that we're fully committed and got the cooker in, we now need to make sure the sink goes in correctly. So the kitchen sink seems to be that it has this piece here which is going to essentially sit in a hole and then lap over the top. So we need to get up to this part here in order for it to sit nice and flush.
Kind of like 1 centimeter.
So what we've done is we've turned it upside down and we've put it, we've taped around the edges so we don't have to draw. And then we've drawn around this part here, which allows us to then have the template for our sink. Now we know that's the size of the outside part of our sink, correct? Yep. So now measuring this, we can see that is roughly 2 centimeters.
Is it 2 centimeters?
Yep. Which is there. 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 We opted for the butcher block, which untreated came out to £322 because you can only buy it in a single sheet. The sink itself, I believe, was about £60 or so. It was one of the cheaper units, and then we spent £100 on the tap in order to get a nice tap. So we've cut a big hole in here. She was really worried, shaking like this. And then we did this bit, but of course, being a professional, I got an F in woodworking, I believe.
Did you actually get F in your exam?
It would have been an E or something, probably. It was terrible. It was I didn't like the teacher. The teacher was a right, let's keep it PG. She was a mega
bitch.
I wasn't going to say that. Absolutely hated me and Eric.
Eric is fine to hate, but why you? You're just like...
I'm lovable, yeah. Eric, if you're listening to this, it's going to come and hunt you down now.
Yeah, you will.
Right, so what we're doing is we filled up the cooker with LPG. It didn't explode that time, so it may explode when we take it off. Try not to make any sparks or fart. We've got the tap here all fully working. I won't turn it on because it will just go everywhere. And all the electrics for the boiler under here as well, which is obviously not very great. And we fastened the worktop down with about 2 screws and the cooker in with 2 screws just when we drove to do the LPG. So now what we're doing is we've cut out all the holes on the worktop, and now we're going to prepare the worktop. The worktop itself was stained and varnished. The sanding that you can see here, we started off on an 80 grit and then we went down to a 220 grit. If I've got that the right way around, please correct me if higher is finer. Leave a comment please if that's incorrect. After the sanding, we did the staining. So the stain is just painted on quite thickly and then it's brushed off after a few minutes, leaving the nice stain colour afterwards. This can be completed in multiple passes to get the right colour. What you can see here is just a mahogany wood stain going on. It was just an old tin that we had knocking around from, I don't know, whichever project. It worked well though. After researching what to do on the worktops, we've stained the worktop, as you can see. So this is now our finished colour. We used these brushes, which are foam brushes. It's a bit of foam in a brush, basically.
When you stain it?
To stain it. And then once stained, we're now going to apply polyurethane with a decent quality brush. And we are using an oil-based polyurethane because that's all they had in the shops. They suggest water-based because it sets a lot quicker, but I'm sure this will be just as good. The polyurethane itself costs about £20, I believe, for the tin. You'll find this in the generally in the varnish sections of any DIY store. The dry time was about 24 hours for us on the polyurethane when we applied it. We did apply this during the winter, so it may be quicker to dry during the summer months when it's a little bit warmer. Once applied, you then have to feather over the top of the polyurethane, making sure your brush strokes are even and in the same direction, removing any bubbles that you can see. Please don't apply too much when you're doing this because then you will ruin the look. So we're just now trying to house all the displays. We've got these, and what I've done is I've cut out a piece of wood to go on the front. I cut the holes. This is for the big multi-switch thing. This is for the general battery display. This is for the inverter. Got this little hole here for DC heater because the cable just comes through and it clips onto the front. But I don't have the right size hole cutter for this. Mine's slightly too big, and rather than going to buy one, I've just measured around them and I'm going to try and cut them out. Hopefully it's not going to be a complete disaster, but we'll see. So this one here was the IKEA cupboard. It didn't show building this because it was nice and simple, but being IKEA it wasn't. It came with about 20 sets of instructions with different combinations depending on where you put the doors. I had some trouble getting the doors in, but that's probably because I'm an IKEA thickie. Above that we have our control panel. We came across some cheap stick-on tiles from B&M, and they certainly did the trick. They were, once finished, they did look very nice. I personally think so anyway. On top of that, we were putting spice racks. The spice rack that we put on there, I originally said that I didn't want them, but after my wife winning the argument, they did look very nice. But I will admit to being wrong, at least for once anyway. The spice racks themselves came from IKEA. They were about £4 each. They're simply hung by matching up a screw to the hole and then just clipping them in. Of course, with my DIY skills, I didn't get it right the first time and I had to make alterations in order to get them to fit. But no harm, all worked out well in the end. Just sorting out the kitchen. We put fake tiles on the backing and we're just trying to sort out this corner here.
It looks ugly,
to make
isn't
it nice and pretty.
Yeah, so
As pretty as possible. So that would sit like that. Yeah, it's what you want.
yeah. I think it's better that way, isn't it? It looks nice, tidier.
Just so the wife can see how pretty she always looks, we've purchased the mirror from Amazon and then we glued it to the front of the door. This worked out quite well. It's only £15. So I've placed the pieces of wood on the front here. Once that's all painted up, that should hopefully be fine. Just needs a little bit more filler in here when it's dried. And another one down here, just above the footstool, where the fridge is. So the next thing to do is, because the end of our worktop warped, I've taken off the stands for the worktop and that's going now. I'm going to put these fan covers on. And as you can see here, Mrs. Flack is smearing poo all over the side of the van. But it's her favourite hobby.
People having to poo in there.
Yeah, you've got a bit of a weird thing going on.
Shut up.
And this is the mess that we're working in. She never cleans up.
Who did tidy up yesterday? Did you tidy up anything?
I did, it's me.
Yeah. You untidy.
I do all the work, all the cleaning, all the cooking,
Yeah.
and then she just comes in here and smears poo around.
Shut up.
Right. So in our earlier videos you may have noticed that we had an extension here. I'm just holding it up now and it's been taken off. So the reason we took it off is, if you can see this, if you go down to the wood there, you may see it's warped and bowed.
Maybe put it on the floor, it will show better.
The dog's in the way.
Okay.
So I believe the reason why this warped was because we treated the top of it and not the bottom. So the bottom's open to the elements.
You're not sure. If you know why it warped, let us know.
Yeah, let us know why it warped. That's my
I don't have any
theory.
clue.
That's my theory. But
This one also warped a bit, but it is okay after that.
yeah, I think we needed to seal both sides. But let us know in the comments if you know, because I'm certainly not a woodworker. It's a shame about the worktop bowing a little bit, but it could have been a lot worse.
It doesn't show.
It doesn't show in here at all.
It doesn't show at all, but we know that.
And the reason why this hasn't bowed too much is because it's screwed down, so it can't actually move as much.
Yeah.
But
it looks all right now.
yeah, anyone that knows about it, please let us know if that's going to get worse and if we do actually need to treat it before next winter, because that would be useful.